It's time to get your geek on with Dave Vermillion.
She is a veteran and alumni of Get Your Geek On. She's been on before. It's been a little while, but we love going down to her shows. We really appreciate all the hard work that she does, and it's only fair that she comes in and talks about all the hard work and everything that goes into who she is and what she does. She is Laurie Gonzales. Laurie, we want to welcome you here. How you doing?
Doing fine.
All righty. So, how about that weather, huh? I'm really sick of 102-degree weather.
I'm very sick.
You should move.
Yeah. I don't mind it in May, but that was 3 months ago. We've moved a quarter of the way around the sun. I'm ready for it to
But
move
this
on.
is San Antonio. We could wake up tomorrow and there'd be a snowstorm. There's just no telling.
Yeah, we could, or we could also end up, around
With a hurricane.
Thanksgiving, we could be, in shorts and t-shirts again. So it's, it is what it is. So I want to ask you first. You deal with so many events, 17 events down there at the Wonderland Mall of the Americas, and it's not just the sheer number of events that impresses me, but it's how varied they are. You have Sci-Fest. You work with the more phenomenal Expo. There's PokeFest SA that you work with also.
PokeFest moved to Norris Conference Center. They're out of Wonderland Mall.
Okay, so they're out of there. But you have Monster Fest.
MonsterCon.
There's so many events that you do. So my question is, how do you juggle 17 events in a year?
It initially started out 7 years ago with one event, MonsterCon, and it took over the mall. And then the mall said I could handle their, at that time it was market days.
Uh-huh.
The little towns have market days, but I said I'd had to do it my way. So I geeked it out. It was just a matter of finding 12 different subjects for those shows. The one-day arts and crafts shows, what could we do? Well, now we've got Princess Fest. We've got halfway to Halloween. We've got a Dragon Ball Z coming up in November.
Ooh.
And we're bringing in 4 Dragon Ball Z voice actors for that one.
No, who do you got?
It's sponsored by KamehaCon, and you'll have to go on the website and see who they're bringing in.
Okay, all right. It's KamehaCon.com.
Yes.
KamehaCon.com.
They put on the big sold-out Dragon Ball Z convention in Irving, Texas.
Very cool. Okay. So, but how do you juggle? I mean, that's almost an event every
Every
3 weeks.
I mean, every month.
Yeah. So how do you?
Some of them
juggle
are
all
2 a
that?
month. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I mean.
Well, a lot of them started out as the one-day shows, and when the crowd impacted so big, it just grew into a 2-day show.
Mm-hmm.
Princess Fest was one of those, and we probably get about 500 to 600 attendees at that one. We're just little bitty girls all in tutus, and it's crazy. And then
it's adorable. I love it.
Harry Potter in January was a one-day show, and it just blew out of the water. Same thing with that one.
So with 17 events going on, I mean, do you ever have time really to just take a breath before you have to plan and plunge into the next con?
Not really.
No?
Right now, I am working on MonsterCon. I'm working on Heroes and Villains in November. I'm working on Day of the Dead. Now, Day of the Dead in San Antonio is Dia de los Muertos.
Yes.
In my community, Day of the Dead is Day of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead.
Okay, all right.
So our Day of the Dead is not the Day of the Dead San Antonio is expecting.
Not the traditional one.
Yes.
But, all right. Well, I like it. That's very cool. Very cool. But what would you say? What's the most rewarding part of running these cons?
We have a family that go to MonsterCon every year. The child is in a wheelchair.
Oh.
And this baby he just has a ball. I mean, he's there I see him all the time. The moms wave, the baby waves, and and it's very rewarding that what these are the future geeks.
Yes.
I've been asked, how do kids come and go to a horror con? Well, what happened is you had one geek marry another geek, and they had baby geeks. So then we end up with 5-year-old Chuckies. We end up with little girls running around in blue dresses like the twins from The Shining.
Like the Pennywise that won I was there. I judged that cosplay contest. That kid was, wow. That was incredible.
That little boy coming down a hallway was like, oh, yeah. I got to go this way.
I mean, he had the teeth, he had the walk, he had everything. It was
And he wasn't the only one. There were a couple of Pennywises there that were amazing. So I guess the most rewarding thing, if you're going to ask me, would be the kids.
Seeing all the kids.
It's all the kids.
Now, let me ask you, all right, so that's the good one, but do you have a favorite? Now, we're playing mom here. You got 17 little ones running around, but do you have a favorite?
MonsterCon.
MonsterCon. Above all others. That's
above all others, because, I am a horror buff. I've been in the creepy classics for 19 years now. 20 years now. I've been creepy classic videos. And If you're wanting to sit down and talk to me about John Agar and, and Tarantula or the old black and white.
Them.
I love them.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's my passion is horror. And when I first saw a horror con would be Texas Frightmare with Lloyd.
Okay.
And I've been a faithful vendor ever since then with Lloyd in Texas Frightmare.
Outstanding. Very cool.
It's memories. You come home with a memory that you talk about.
And that's starting to come up now. I mean, we're slowly, carefully getting out of August.
Yes.
Which means it won't be long before we're back into the silly season.
But here's the thing: the community, the horror community, it isn't a month, it isn't a day.
Oh, it's year round.
It's year round.
Especially if you go to Home Depot around this time of year. I mean, back to school's already gone. Now they've already got the Halloween decorations.
It's how I
out.
stay in business.
All year.
All year, people come in my store and they're buying videos, they're buying furniture, they're buying horror decor and artwork and autographs, and it's all year long.
Now, does size matter when it comes to cons? Because if you look at Alamo City, I mean, they pull in 70 to 100,000 people. There's Dallas Fan Days pulls in 70 to 100,000 people. Wizard World pulls in all these people.
Size, it's going to depend on how you're asking it. Does it matter for attendees or does it matter for vendors? Because those are two different things.
All right, well, let's look at it from both perspectives then. It's essentially because you're running all of these events. Does it matter to you?
No.
Not even a little bit?
No.
No hesitation?
No hesitation. No, it does not matter to me. Because one, we don't rely on a door. We have no door.
Right, there's no door fee.
I am
They're all
not
free.
rich. There is duct tape on my car. And some months I have ramen. But there's no door, so we are free admission. So when people come to MonsterCon, it's not just a mom and a son or a dad and a daughter. It is the entire family and grandma and grandpa, and everybody gets in on the fun.
Well, I mean, I'm sure you would love to have as many people as possible come by. Is there ever a point where you think it would
Yes.
get too large?
Right now, last year MonsterCon, and it'll probably happen again this year, there is no parking at the mall.
There's just...
No, at the mall.
I wonder what the mall thinks about that.
Oh, they love it because the stores are getting business.
That's true, yeah, because while you're there, you might as well go to Burlington.
And I
You may
only
as
know
well go
that
there.
happens when security comes by and taps me on the shoulder and goes, "Don't move your car."
If you move your car now, you ain't getting
You
back.
ain't getting back. Don't move your
You're going to
car.
have to park on the other side of I-10. Go down Fredericksburg a ways.
Yeah.
When you get to USAA, we'll send a tram for you. That's what we'll do.
You're going to have to take an Uber. Sorry.
Yeah. To Uber on down. Now, tell me about Nerds for a Cause. What is Nerds for a Cause?
Nerds for a Cause is, we are a not-for-profit charity. And while there's a lot of cosplay groups that are very much in the public eye, they're very much on TV and you see them with the photos and everything. We don't do that. We're very much behind the scenes because a lot of times families, they're proud and they need help. They just don't want it all over everywhere. So those
Sure.
are the families we help. And a lot of times, for Harvey, for example, we wiped our bank down to zero with Harvey.
Wow.
We sent $1,000 to the Houston Food Bank. We were sending money everywhere. I was telling vendors, artists, and so on that came from Houston that they could have free tables at my shows.
Nice. Very cool.
Because it's a community. I think we should, when something that tragic happens, we should all be together.
Oh, I completely agree. That's why I was very happy that I was able to pull together as many cosplayers as possible. So many people answered the call on incredibly short notice. It was like, look, guys, here's the event. Let's just get down there and see how much money we can raise.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
I think we had like a couple dozen cosplayers come out on literally like a day's notice.
So,
it was incredible.
we've done, in the past, last year we donated, this was horrible. It was 100 box fans for the senior citizens. We donated those to the fire department. The reason I say it was horrible, it was my car doesn't hold that many.
Make a bunch of trips then.
It was a lot of trips.
No one had a pickup truck.
No.
Oh my God.
My car was the biggest car.
Oh no.
And before that, we've done scholarships.
So you had all your fans right there.
Oh, yes. Oh, ta-da-da.
So, but do y'all do events outside of the MonsterCon and Sci-Fest and that sort of thing?
Yes.
Independent.
We've been asked for the hospital visits. We've done Wonderland will have their own events and they will ask us to help out. Like we're going to have our Darth Vader at the Santa Photos in November.
Very
for Black
cool.
Friday.
Very cool. Where can people learn more about Nerds for a Cause if they want to join up or they want to help out?
We have a Facebook page called Nerds for a Cause, and a lot of times we'll be posting when people need help. We'll post GoFundMes, we'll share funny stories, we'll cry sometimes, but that's where you can find us and you can find out what's going on.
Now, looking at San Antonio itself, this is the month of San Antonio that we're wrapping up here. How have you seen, we've seen the city change drastically over the past just few years, but how have you seen the geeky community change?
It's come out of the closet.
It is mainstream.
It is mainstream. I was that closet geek. I was the Trekkie in high school in 1979 that was afraid to let everybody know I was a Trekkie because there was such a stigma attached to being a geek. And now it is so weird to walk into a Walmart and there are my Freddy Krueger t-shirts right there in the front rack.
I mean, you can walk down to the Riverwalk right now and you'll see someone wearing a Captain America t-shirt. I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
I
think that is the coolest thing is it is okay to be that nerd. It's okay to be that geek. And it isn't even so much about the knowledge as much as it is the passion. Because these people have the passion for this subject matter.
Which is great to see because we've always had it. And it's nice now to see that warmth, that acceptance, that it is now mainstream. It's not about, wedgies and swirlies or anything like that. Now it's, hey, that's a pretty cool looking Iron Man shirt. It's all retro. You got the old school comic maybe on the t-shirt or something like that.
And now you've got people where their cars are reflecting their geekism.
Yes.
Have you seen those? Those are amazing. The cars are reflecting the geekism. You've got their clothing, their homes. I do custom furniture, and it's all nerd furniture, and I can't keep it in the store.
Now, when it comes to a con, coming from your perspective, what is most important in a successful con? Is it that the vendors are happy, that the fans are happy, something else entirely? What's most important?
I'm going to have to say it's both. Because if you don't have happy vendors, you don't have a good con. Then there's problems. They're the first ones to reflect that there are problems behind the scenes.
And probably the loudest ones too.
Yes, they are. Take my word for it. Yes,
I'm sure. I'm sure. I'm never going back to that show. I tell you what.
Yes.
Yeah, I can imagine. All right, so happy vendors is a big thing.
Happy vendors is about 50% of it.
Okay, who are some of your favorite vendors? The ones that you just love to see.
Carlos Herrera's with 2ID Toys.
Okay.
He's a very good with people, always donating for raffles and GoFundMes, always there for the community. Christian and Sarah Hodges. They just opened up their first little store called Hodgetastic on 35 and shirts.
Hodgetastic.
Yeah. So, we have vendors that have paid for the whole year.
Wow.
Yes. They've paid for all the shows for a whole year to stay in one spot.
And that's important because that makes you happy.
Yes. That's where our advertising money comes from.
Yeah, and they get the table, they get that spot, it's theirs. Kind of like, when you camp out for Breckenridge Park for Easter, it's like, no, this is my table.
This is my table.
This is my spot.
I licked
know
it. It's mine. You can't touch it. Because somebody has asked me, how do I get Carlos a spot? And I was like, you got to wait for him to die. I'm sorry.
That's the only way. But he gets the best electricity spot.
He licked it. Yeah, I'm sorry.
He licked the spot. He's marked his territory. That's it.
7 years ago, that man said, this is mine, and that's his.
And that's just the way it went.
That's just the way it went.
Someone else that shows up at I've seen y'all shows, that's the Heroes and Villains of Cosplay, known as Havoc, and they sponsor the show here, and we're very happy that they do. You can find out more about them on Facebook. Just look for them, Havoc, HAVOC, Heroes and Villains of Cosplay. If you have questions, if you're here in the San Antonio area and you want to cosplay, but you're not sure if your outfit looks just right, you have questions about cosplaying, or what if I can't make every single event? Don't be scared off by this. You want to check out our friends over at the Heroes and Villains of Cosplay. They are waiting to welcome you to their events.
They're a good group.
I love those guys. They're wonderful.
Very, very welcoming to new members. They're great with kids.
And something else that's coming up also, speaking of the More Phenomenal Expo, which is coming up here pretty soon. It's around the corner. The Power Rangers, they celebrated their 25th anniversary.
Oh my God, I love it.
We got that music clip from our friends over at Bitforce.
Oh, really?
Oh, God, Bitforce. I love those guys. The Bitforce is wonderful. They put on the Zombie Walk and the Wookiee Walk.
Yeah.
And they're a great band. So if you want to look up for a great band that does covers like that, Bitforce, that's where you want to look.
Oh, and you got to check out the Zombie Walk.
Yes.
The Zombie Walk is amazing.
That takes over downtown.
I love it.
It's fantastic. And I like how these things always start from small beginnings.
Yes.
I mean, who would have thought that Zombie Walk would be as big as it is?
As long ago as it started. It's been around a long time.
A long time. And I mean, they shut the streets down for that.
Yes.
I mean, it's incredible. 7th largest city in the country. They shut down some of the streets of downtown for Zombie
I tried
Walk.
a couple of times, and now they just laugh at me because I'm sitting on a curb somewhere going, go on without me.
Just leave me here. I'm good. No problem. So you have any good Power Rangers memories now that they are a quarter of a century old?
Just that now I don't have to pretend I'm watching it with the kids because the kids want to watch it.
I'm watching it for me now. I can come out of the closet there.
I can come out of the closet and say I'm watching Power Rangers.
I know, Goose, you've got some really good Power Rangers memories. You have to.
Yeah, I mean, I was a sophomore in high school when it premiered, and yeah, I watched it a lot. I dropped off during Zeo, came back during Dino Thunder, and then dropped off again a little bit. But and I'm not like an every week watcher with it, but I do enjoy it from time. It's like a live action Voltron. But the 25th anniversary episode is coming up on Tuesday, and it's going to have 10 returning Rangers to it from the past. Including, of course, Jason David Frank.
What?
But he's going to be in 2 different Ranger costumes. He's going to be the Dino Thunder Black Ranger to introduce us, and then he's going to later say Dragon Zord one more time and be the Mighty Morphin Green Ranger. Now, of course,
and that's when Goose will just break down in tears.
There's been three actors that have been known since day one. Jason David Frank, Jason Font, who was the Time Force Red Ranger, and then Catherine Sutherland, who was the Mighty Morphin Pink Ranger after Amy Jo Johnson left, then became the Pink Zeo Ranger, and then the Pink Turbo Ranger. Now, added to that, we have Steve Cardenas, who took over Mighty Morphin Red from Austin St. John, and then became Zeo Blue and Turbo, or he was actually in Turbo. He almost was, but not quite. And then Ceylon Ward comes back. He took over Turbo Red from Tommy, and then became the Space Blue Ranger.
Is everyone taking notes? There will be a quiz afterwards.
There will. Speaking of Dino Thunder, we have the White Dino Thunder Ranger coming back. We've got the Lee Ming-hu, who plays the RPM Silver Ranger. RPM was the last Disney series of Power Rangers. Steven Schuyler, who was the Gold Ranger in Power Rangers Samurai. Kiara Hanna, who was the Megaforce Yellow Ranger. And Yoshi Sudoroso, who was the Dino Charge Blue Ranger, who is actually the real-life brother of the Ninja Steel Blue Ranger. So we're in the Power Rangers Super Ninja Steel season, the 25th season, and we have 15 Rangers that are going to show up on screen. There was a preview that came out recently that showed the RPM Ranger, the Time Force Ranger, and then we got to see Tommy as the Black Ranger.
That's a lot of Rangers.
That is a lot of Rangers. That's 15 Rangers.
Wow.
And the only 2 that are from the same team is going to be Mighty Morphin Green and Mighty Morphin Red.
I wonder if they're going to throw a curveball at some point and maybe include, even as a cameo, some of the ones from the recent movie that came out. Because in the movie, we had some of the old school Rangers that had a cameo, including Get Your Geek On alumni Amy Jo Johnson.
Yes.
So that'd be kind of a neat little twist.
But Kimberly, her version of Kimberly hadn't been seen since the Power Rangers Turbo movie. And, of course, the episode is going to be called Dimensions in Danger and will air on Nickelodeon Tuesday, August 28th at 8 p.m. Eastern.
What's going to be really cool is that you're going to have a lot of parents sit down with their kids and watch this.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is what I grew up with, so now you get to watch all this with us together. It's become a family event.
Are they coming out with a part 2 on the movie?
I've heard Hasbro is actually going to do a sequel.
Oh, thank God.
They should, because the first one was a good movie.
I loved it.
I thought it was great.
Now, when it comes to this anniversary episode on Tuesday, the question I have is what morphine sequence are they going to use for the Mighty Morphin? Because when Adam showed up in Operation Overdrive, they actually redid the entire Mighty Morphin morph sequence. So are they going to go back to just the regular ones where they're holding the morphers inside the morpher, or are they going to use that? Because that was really cool.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah, it's called the Operation Overdrive anniversary episode was called Once a Ranger, by the way. So you can find that on Netflix.
Now, Laurie, what is the next show that you have coming out? Which one's around?
MonsterCon.
Is that MonsterCon? It's the end of September.
It's the end of September.
Okay, so
that's after the More Phenomenal Expo.
Yes.
All right, so MonsterCon is up next. That's the big one.
That's the big
one.
one.
You have any good surprises for that show?
We're bringing in Felissa Rose.
Ooh.
Sleepaway Camp.
Nice.
Both of the sleepaway camps. We've got Kitty Corbett coming in.
Okay.
She was an Elvira runner-up.
Okay, very cool.
And we've also got Osvaldo Fernandez coming in, and he was in Jurassic World, got killed by a raptor.
Nice.
I know, because I was in the movie theater going, that's my friend that just died.
There's like 3 people who didn't get killed by a raptor in that movie, though.
There's just 3. Everybody else died.
To be fair, yeah. I mean, a grand total of 3 there. And of course, cosplay contest for both adults
Yes.
and kids.
We're having a Scream Queen contest.
Ooh.
And then we've got Tiny Terror Tots.
Tiny Terror Tots. What is that? I got to know what that is.
Little kids. It's a kids costume contest.
Like toddlers.
Yes.
Oh. So that's really
so
more
your
for the parents.
your 5-year-old Pennywise is going to be on stage.
Oh, my
Well, at least you got
God.
the alliteration going. If it's gonna be geek, it has to have some type of alliteration.
The Tiny
Yes.
Terror Tots, exactly.
And we have 4 costume contests.
It sounds terrific. No.
The Tiny Terror Tots is terrific.
I would
Are
think.
terrific?
I think it'd be terribly terrific.
Terrific Tiny Terror Tots.
Wouldn't it be awesome if the
Terribly
T-Rex
terrific.
won?
No, terribly terrific Tiny Terror Tots.
Now say that fast 4 times.
No.
That'd be cool if there were some Tiny Toons in there. In your terribly terrific Tiny
Okay,
Terror
now we're
Tots.
going too far with it.
So that's what I like about this. It is truly a family event.
It is very,
whole
very
families can come out, and there's
family-oriented.
something for everybody out there.
We're very careful on the guests that come in. We're very careful on the costumes that do show up. It is very family oriented.
Okay, now let's put you on the spot. Can you name all 17?
All 17.
All 17
shows?
shows.
Oh, I can try. Hogwarts Arts and Crafts Show.
That's one.
Princess Fest. I can't do it.
Well, MonsterCon's 3.
Sci-Fest, Lost
Sci-Fest,
in
4.
Wonderland, Nerdtacular, Lost in Wonderland, Heroes and Villains,
7.
Villain Fest,
8.
Halfway to Halloween,
9.
Practical Magic,
Yep.
and I'm missing some.
Well, we got to double digits. That's more than...
More Phenomenal Expo.
Well, no,
That's-
that's Kimmerbach.
Oh, that's Kimberbach. That's not
I'm
yours.
just helping
Okay.
out. Yeah.
That's more than half. I mean,
We're
consider
just partnering on the advertising on that one.
you have 17. So, I mean, that's 10
I got
right
12.
there. So that's pretty good. That is a lot to keep up
Yeah,
with.
and then in December, every single weekend, Nerds for a Cause does photo ops with characters.
Really, every
So
weekend,
every
regardless if
single
there's a show or
weekend.
not.
So the first weekend, we're going to have Freddie and Jason.
Oh, cool.
Christmas photos, and that is hilarious. Oh my God, that one is hilarious. The second weekend is Jack and Sally.
Aww.
The third weekend is Beetlejuice.
Oh, nice.
We're gonna do Beetlejuice with a worm and with a wedding dress.
But do they have to say the name 3 times
Yes,
first?
they do, or they don't get a picture. And then the last one is gonna be Darth Vader.
Oh, nice. Very cool. And
So-
all of this takes place at the Wonderland Mall of the Americas
Yes, it does.
on Fredericksburg Road and Loop 410.
And then
It's-
that's not, I mean, there's so much that goes on at that mall. Every month, every other weekend, there are events going on that free
all the time.
to take the families to. I mean, the mall has opened its doors and been a wonderful sponsor.
Absolutely. And we'll be right back here. We got a hard break for the bottom of the hour news here on Freedom 1160, freedom1160.com. We want to thank our guest, Laurie Gonzales, for coming in. You've been fantastic. Love having you here. We're glad you watched this video. We work really hard to put out some great quality content for geeks out there. If you liked that video, don't worry about it because there are plenty more out there. You can click right here to find more videos, more interviews, more clips, more fan theories, more of just really everything out there under the sun that we do. But you can also click here and mash that subscribe button because that way you just don't miss it. You get a little ping. You don't have to go digging for anything. We bring the news right to you. Just mash that subscribe button. You're good to go.